right, red light's lit. Looks like we're coming back here live at twitch.tv. And we want to let y'all know our motto for 1988. We are too damn hype. What are we? We're too damn hype. All right. We're too damn hype, yeah. Too damn hype, all right. We're too damn hype, yeah. In the place at about this time, my name is Ben Hamin, and I'm here with my full posse in effect. My man, Big Chris Silvio. Matthew Schaffer's in effect. The man, Oh My Money. Brian and Peter in the place, and we want to let y'all know our motto for 1988. We are too damn hype. What are we? We're too damn hype. All right. We're too damn hype, yeah. Taking it back, you guys. It's AEW. Fuse, it's too hype. No crowd or not, we're going to keep the energy up and live with the big main event, hackerhamin.podbean.com. Yalla. Had to take it back. That's old. Not a lot of people know that one, man. You know what that one is, you guys, or not? That's probably before both of you were born almost.
No, that's older than my first pube.
What year were you born, Sil?
84.
84? Okay, so you were 4. That's from He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper tape. It's not on the CD. It was in a little extra when they used to put, like, you know, the secret tracks on tapes. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper. And that was their motto for 1988. They were too damn hype. And he's turned that into something, you know.
Mojo Raleigh stole that shit in 2012.
Yeah, man. So
he buried it is what he did.
Yeah. It worked for Will. He got all the use out of it. Not much left for Mojo. But I'm too damn hyped to be back with you guys. Still, that headband's too damn hype with the pirate look coming in hot right now, pointing at the WrestleMania sign still. You love that Buccaneers pirate theme, and he's swinging deck to deck, you know, with his maiden fair in tow, Matt Schaffer Gage. How's it going, brother?
3D printer, baby. $3.99. Hit up Hamin.com.
Damn, Hamin, you're printing cloth now via 3D printer? I didn't know we could do that too. That's pretty cool.
What are we
No, it's
printing?
plastic.
Oh, it's a plastic bandana. Got it.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
nice. Yeah, dude, there's actually, I keep talking about 3D printing in niche demographics. Fashion designers are making crazy high heels shoes and things with them like that, like stylized things, personal shoes. And then 3D printed dresses, because you can make chainmail that comes off of the printer and you just shake it and then it's malleable. Like right away it breaks the little bonds that it makes. So then you just make the links. So fashion designing women are making these interesting chainmail like gyroid patterns and then turning them into skirts, dresses, and all that kind of slinky shit. It's pretty cool.
Interesting. I've got a sewing machine too. I'm down to Tim Gunn Project Runway these people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 3D printing. I'm getting everybody involved.
I know, right? We're gonna have a whole Hacker Hamin 3D printer page here pretty soon.
That's right. That was what 10-20 minutes on the Impact Attack was all about.
I know, it was great. People were enjoying it though. Look at that. Ben busts out the ukulele. He's gonna play us some music.
Oh, the night Kimono Wanalea danced atop the ECW arena.
That's for the Patreon exclusive. Lullabies.
Yeah, right. Oh,
you will go to sleep, yalla.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty and witty and gay. Oh, shit. Yeah, we're keeping it fun here, you guys. It's not a fun day for a lot of wrestlers, and been talking to some people who are very close to us who got released, and some people who probably shouldn't have seen it coming, and other people are blindsided by it. People, I feel for all of them, but hopefully they can break out of the wrestling bubble that made them think they're over and that they think the world is ending around them, and see the value in what they've done to earn that WWE brand, and how now they can translate their knowledge to an audience that's eager to learn, wants to connect with them, so they can sell their access and use social media to the highest level, much like the model that we've funded here at Hamin Media Brand and Russo Brand, that hopefully they can get over the psychological ramifications, which always sucks when you get fired. There's like 8 steps that you go through, and that's just human nature of how we are dealing with rejection. Hopefully people can get through it quickly and hit the ground running, and show how wonderfully creative they are, and that that they realize there's a world of opportunity open up to them if they want to go for it. And instead of being told, why don't you grab the brass ring, you can forage your own brass ring from scrap and make something wonderful for yourself. And I think they all can do that. And I'm not trying to, again, Barry Horowitz myself, but in the short time that I've been able to reconnect with Susio here, when I saw you, Sue, those first days, and I was happy to have you on, it wasn't the same Susio that I knew. You were still, and you still are, feeling the effects from your post-concussive syndromes. But you are more focused, more driven, and that's the guy I knew and know. And I see the change in you, and I think it's because you have the always the want and thirst to succeed and entertain and thrive. But now you're doing the legwork. How do we get more people on Twitch? How do we do this? Let me pioneer this. Let me get this going so I can get my own superstar seminars and use that vehicle to push this vehicle. You're fucking getting it. And you know the work that it takes. And now your mind is operating at a faster level, and which will probably help you recover from your injury a little bit quicker. I would imagine. Maybe that's just me hoping the best for you, but I feel like I've seen a change already in you.
Yeah, there definitely has been, man. And I texted you privately a few weeks ago just to, thank you for helping me out of a difficult situation.
Always.
And, I definitely appreciate you for that, buddy. But yeah, man, I'm not the same. I'm not the same person, but I'm figuring out ways to do shit. So I guess the best way I can explain it is now it just takes me 3 times as long as it would have 2 years ago to do whatever it is that I'm doing. But I'm figuring out within my own system, I'm figuring out how to kind of live in a new vessel, like Broken Matt Hardy. And I'm figuring out how to get it done. Even if it takes 3 days instead of 1, I'm figuring out how to get that shit done. And I've got a pretty cool doctor that's been helping me. And they changed some of my medication up. And it's being treated similar to almost like somebody that has attention deficit in a way, where they're unable to focus on anything. So they're trying to stimulate parts of my brain that can actually focus on shit. So better than it was, man. I'm trying, I'm pushing forward, and I just want to get back to doing what I love, man. Something in pro wrestling.
You're succeeding. You're taking the chance on yourself and pushing it forward, and there's nobody to fucking say, yes, you can, or you can't do that. You know you can. And it's about doing the legwork. And yeah, that does not make me, it's not that I'm saddened by it. I know that I'm glad to see that drive can't be put down in you. And if your brain's got to rewire and it takes a little extra time, maybe it's even more thought out. Maybe we need to take a pause, but it's not keeping you back. And I see your momentum building much, much more rapidly, dude. And that's what I want for everybody who can quickly get over this. And I ribbed and put out a couple tweets yesterday, like 16 new podcasts starting in 3, 2. But hey, if somebody is serious about it and they want to be a content creator and they want help with that stuff, that's what Hamin Media is here for. You know what I mean? I'm going to get my little fucking locker room digs in because I'm in the fucking locker room, kid. But the reality is, if people want help in how to do this stuff, we're getting pretty good at it. We got a little something going on, So we're all, a rising tide raises all ships, and we'll see without the indies what choices some people make, because we're all furloughed now. Everybody's an independent contractor,
Yep. And this is a message for everyone, man, since you brought this up. I truly believe that we are capable of doing anything. I don't believe there is much that is impossible. A long time ago, somebody said it'd be cool if I could fly like a bird. Everybody said, you're fucking crazy. Well, then the Wright brothers invented the airplane. Somebody else said, I want to go to the moon. The fuck do you mean you want to go to the moon? Someone went to the moon. 2001, 112-pound kid, barely 5 foot tall from Richmond, Virginia, said, I want to be a pro wrestler. I got my ass kicked for almost 20 years, but I became a fucking pro wrestler. With this shit, I had something that changed my life completely. Well, fuck it. I want to do this. I want to, start my own station. I want to get my seminar business moving. I want to do all this shit. And it's not easy, but I just want everybody listening to know that whatever the fuck it is, we all have something we want to do.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, trust me, you can do it. Just try to put the pieces in order. It may not be easy and it may not be quick. It likely won't. But if there's something you want to do, man, pull the fucking trigger. Now's the time.
Well, it's 10,000 hour rule, and it's dedication, and even everything comes with a price. If you want to go to the moon, Neil Armstrong was never the fucking same after that. He was all fucked up for a while, and and Sil's fucked up for a while. We're living our dreams, and we're getting through it in the aftermath. And then Neil Armstrong went on a lot of tours and schooled a lot of people after that, and maybe that's the phase we're going into right now. But it's about doing something with your knowledge and applying it and putting it out there. That with the Wright brothers thing, I was like, shit, because I just started watching this. He's a cute little prick too, that son of a bitch. He's got all his hair. Some kid out in the Midwest who's a rich kid, but he seems nice enough. His name's Tucker. I can't remember the name of his YouTube channel, but he's got one of those goddamn parachute things where you put the engine on your back with the propeller, and dude, off he goes. I'm like, motherfucker, I want one of those.
My buddy Shane's into that.
Paragliding, yeah. And he's if you just look up Tucker and paragliding, I'm sure his channel will come right up. He's got all the girls, watching, tuning in. And me too. I'm one of those little girls now. Because, dude, he does some awesome flights. And I'm like, shit, that looks like fun. But then I think, could my big 250-pound ass get up off the ground? And once I'm up there, maybe. But it's pretty badass to watch that kind of shit, man. And I think when you said that, the Wright brothers, to me, watching this kid on YouTube with a fan strapped on his back paragliding is unbelievable in 100 years, right? Because Wright brothers
26.
20, yeah, say so.
Maybe before that, or 16 even.
I thought it was like in the teens. So, but what they imagined to where we are now in 100 years, nothing is impossible, and nothing's impossible for anybody listening that they want to accomplish that, and especially if you got the WWE stamp on you. So no more tears. Yeah, you don't need the baby shampoo. I felt bad for Rockstar Spud going on right after and doing an emotional, very heartfelt thing, putting over his next 3 matches. And being a Rip Rogers guy, I know he gets it. But once you are in that WWE bubble, somebody brought this up in the locker room in the chat, it's almost like a Stockholm syndrome. Like that. I look at Rockstar Spud doing that and like it's WWE or nothing. This is my dream, and I get it. We all have that dream, and we live vicariously through him when he succeeds, when he's on camera. I love it. But I look at him and I go, this motherfucker should say to myself, okay, fuck wrestling. I'm going to be the next Ryan Seacrest. Why? I'm as good looking as him. I'm already better on camera than him. And I've got an accent. Fuck that guy. I'm going to be the next him and take every step to becoming the multi-millionaire version of whatever he wants to be. But they don't see that in themselves right now because they're living, like I said, in that emotional you have to go through 8 steps of psychological evaluation before you can start to get over it. And usually takes 3 days to a week, and then you'll start to pull out of that, whatever it is that endorphins your brain is releasing. Emotions are nothing more than chemicals released by our brain. It's not anything else. So how do we let that affect us? Well, there's some things that just have to run its course, but then some people can go way downhill off that. Or, hey man, here's the hand. Your brothers and sisters are going to lift you up, and we're here to fucking pull you back into the light of day where you need to be. That's just how we do shit,
And then what I liked about what Rockstar Spud did yesterday, and I said this on my live stream over at Superstar Wrestling Network, Spud was talking about, a depressing, a sad thing.
Yeah.
But what I like about him is he's always able to make whatever he's given work. If you noticed, he reverted all this back to doing business.
He did business in the end, bro.
Right? He used his emotion for a promo. And I know this is the way that little motherfucker's mind was thinking.
Yep.
He was like, I'm going to use this emotion to do a great promo. And he did. Of course, he's sad, but motherfucker was doing business and saying, hey, guys, I'm worth it. Look what you lost or what you could have back. But, man, I do feel bad for all those guys. I know they'll be okay. I know they'll land on their feet. But it hurt me, man, just watching all these dudes because I'm a brother. I know what it's like. I can't imagine if 30 of my friends just lost their job in one day,
Well, you can imagine it because they have. I mean, you can go back to even the start with APOC and the Ascension going. Kind of that was the beginning of it. And this is all just basic corporate bullshit too. In a time when they lost $350 million. I told Deeb, she's taking it, how she'll take it. But I said, this isn't nothing about you and your performance or your lack of. This guy lost $350 million on an XFL. He's about to get caught with his pants down again, getting slapped for a super PAC, donating $18.5 million to a fucking Trump campaign and governor's campaign so they can do a backdoor deal to be called an essential business just so they can stay afloat after their stock price dipped 66 fucking percent in the last quarter based on all the bullshit lies and chickens coming home to roost that we warned Fox about back in fucking June. And now here we are. And we've said it before. We're going to sit on the hill and watch Rome burn. And unfortunately, these are my friends who are being burned in this, right? But this is fucking all comes home to roost. This is a basic corporate move. Like, this has nothing to do with wrestling and all that shit. When a business gets fucking hammered like that, mass layoffs. What happens? Stock price goes up. And then what happens? CEOs usually bonus themselves off of that. So everyone who we love and our good brothers and sisters in the Briz, that's one thing we have to deal with. But they can't take it to heart. I'm not saying they can't, because their dreams being fucked over and they're being, marginalized because of this pandemic and because of bad decision making for years. But it really doesn't have anything to do with Rockstar Spud's ability on the fucking mic or anything like that, dude, at all. Like, that's where I hope that they can fucking separate one from the other, dude. You're valuable to the company. The $370 million we just flushed down the shitter was a little more valuable, and we need to fucking make some measures, So, and it's really for fucking the vision of the stockholders, because somebody in the locker room said they didn't move into the Stanford facility. That was $140 million they saved. Cutting these talents equates to about $4 million. So really, it's just a smoke and mirrors work for the fucking stockholders and the people to be like, oh, okay, they're making sacrifice. We'll make sacrifice. The stock price will creep back up, because that's what happens in these situations economically, not just wrestling based. We're talking corporate economics here. And then things will be where they maybe should be or would be right now after hyperinflation. So.
Matty B, you were saying a little something in the chat we were having earlier about this. Weigh in on this. How do you feel about everything they're doing? I know you work in the media.
Yeah, I mean, like Ben pointed out, I've also worked for corporations as well. Like, I worked for Comcast and I worked for Verizon, different telecom media. And, so like, I've actually been through restructures in companies. I worked for a call center at one point where I was doing like inbound retention, and then the whole call center got turned into sales, and you basically either had to go to sales or lose your job. And at the time I didn't want to do sales, so I went off and did other things. But even at work right now, like the company that I'm working for, they're laying people off. They're laying administrators and sales agents and whatnot. I'm in a fortunate enough situation as a technical engineer, if you will, in the engineer department, that I'm the last person one of the last people that will be let go, because somebody's got to make sure your television runs throughout the night, right? So like, I'm fortunate in that situation, but not everybody is in that situation. And I think it ties back to the opening conversation. If everyone's in a position right now where you might not be the most financially secure, but you are now in a position where you can take a risk on yourself. There's nothing that should be stopping you from really pursuing or going after what you want to accomplish. Whether it was for me going back to school in the last 2 years and getting that done, whether it's you starting your own side business, doing Patreon stuff, been doing 3D printing stuff. Everybody is, looking for different opportunities to increase their overall cash revenue and make their life better for themselves long-term. So you have the chance now, go for it. If you're going to get a stimulus check and you don't want to pay bills, either, invest in annuities or stocks or real estate or gold or silver, or build a business, find somebody, a friend in Silicon Valley and create an app. I don't know, do something, but don't just blow the money or just fucking go buy a bunch of video games. And unless that's your job, like if you're a Twitch gamer, that's your job too. Yeah. Cool. But
invest in yourself is what he's saying. Yeah. Find what that's going to be. That's going to bring you happiness that's going to make you work from 7 in the morning until 11 at night, 7 days a week. And you're not, at the end of the day, you're not going to go, oh, am I going to get fired? Because you got to make it to make that rent, and you're going to be driven to do it. And if it's something you really care about, you're going to find a way to make it happen. Absolutely.
It's hard out here for a pimp when trying to get this money for the rent.
You fucking ain't right.
This is America. This is the way the country works.
For a couple more weeks, anyway.
Putting my personal feelings aside, our country is one giant corporation. This is how corporations act. WWE is a publicly traded company. When the chips are down, that's what any corporation
That's what anyone
does.
does. Yep.
They sacrifice the staff. They cut budget. It sucks, and I feel so bad for it. But a lot of people are coming at WWE and all these angles. I couldn't believe they could do that. Yeah, it sucks, and maybe they're not the kindest people. But that is the country if we want our country to be run the way it is, this is what's going to happen. You look at places like the UK, they can't do things like that. You have to give people like a month notice before you let them go. There are all these different rules in place. But we are fucking corporate America, man. We're a capitalist society, and that's the way business is done. It sucks, but that's the way it is. So you can't be surprised.
Well, there are no rules right now, and I said that on a couple other shows. You wait and see what people fucking pull now that there's no like oversight or the guard of like normal societies down. They'll pull some crazy shit.
There's that story about that guy in California who like hijacked a car or something and crashed into it. They released him on an $8,000 bond. He went back out, smoked some meth, and then went and crashed another car. So like it's already starting, right? They couldn't put this guy away at first because they were like, well, we don't know how bad this is. And then he does it again. So now they're like, okay, I guess we have to put him in jail because it's now becoming a reoccurring issue. But the oversight is not there. You're right. I mean, if he hadn't fucked around the second time, he would have gotten off and it would have been fine and all that damage. And
that's just on a criminal small level.
Right.
Now imagine on the big motherfuckers who've been waiting in the wings going, man, we could make a fucking $1 billion if only the EPA wasn't looking over our shoulder this week. And EPA guys are furloughed and home, and fucking Tony Soprano makes the fucking call, and yada yada. You think it's not going on in automotive, garbage, all that shit. It's happening right now, dude. So absolutely it'll happen in some bullshit wrestling world. Here's the next level of this conversation I kind of brought up to Stevie because this is what we want to look at as foresight to warn people. And this is the AEW Dynamite review. And this is going to absolutely impact because now we got 22, 26 people who are all top quality workers and talent looking for a gig. And it's all, thanks everybody. And I love all the people. I'm going to miss them. And all the glad handing worker shit that has to go on to save face in this business. It's whatever. And the same shit I don't do that probably cost me jobs.
Hello, Cody.
Yeah. So he's probably got his phone turned off. Khan does, whatever. But, some people will and some people have their ends and they're going to play their politics how they are in the upcoming weeks. Let's look at the reality of the trickle down of this situation. Your AEW mid card, kiss it goodbye. These they can bring in Sugar Dunkington and great indie talent and whatnot, but WWE has had a stranglehold on just buying up talent for a long time until that bubble popped. Now here comes the flood down the mountain of talent. Are you going to fucking be able to justify Jack Evans and his partner and Jungle Boy and the best friends, Chuck, for a Rusev or a Rowan? Or like, there's absolutely no way.
No offense, but I wouldn't trade any of those people you mentioned for Rowan.
I would. Dude, with him and Harper, that's got money on it, dude. Like that, there's money there. That how quickly they brought him. Sure, the spider thing and all that fucked him. I'm just saying, Rowan, a big man versus whatever, right? Rowan versus Luchasaurus has got more money on it than all those guys I just mentioned. And it's not that those guys suck. It's that WWE had a stranglehold on talent for so long, and now they're all let go. And their value of WWE being ex-WWE guys is going to be 10 times more than an indie guy who's a buddy and an indie darling of somebody who's not drawing at all, when these guys can really move the meter. Like, I'm not trying to besmirch somebody like they suck, they're indie, they're not elite. We're talking about ratings. We're talking about fucking paydays, being able to really compete with WWE now that you have a different vision and the talent that doesn't, you're not gambling on are they amateur and being able to execute it. You don't got to wait for 3 or 4 months for Britt Baker to get it. This person already fucking gets it. You know what I mean? Like, just as a business decision alone, that's where you have to go. So those AEW guys right now who are like, oh, look at all these guys getting fired and F the Revival and all that shit. Guess what? When the Revival shows up, that's your TV time. You'll get moved to AEW Dark. And then when you're slowly not getting booked on AEW Dark and you're doing your indies again full time, they'll squeeze guys off one after the other of these people that we were conditioned to. I bet at least 7 AEW low and mid card guys lose their gigs because of this WWE thing where they bring in, he's definitely bringing in Ryder. He was putting him over already. Cody was right away. They're
boys.
Well, dude, we came up together. We know the Major Brothers and Cody and Spears. They were all best friends, dude. The Talking Zelda or whatever it was, they all loved together as kids, as 20-year-olds. So that's somebody's TV time. That's why would you put, it's going to sound, as much as I like Statlander and all the rest of them, dude, there's no way you're going to say in a booking sheet, do I want to put these girls out there that nobody knows who could have a mediocre match, or do I want to get Zack Ryder versus Cody over, Zack versus, like, it's just not going to happen. That's not a malice thing that I'm saying. That's a straight booker, let's make money, and fucking who's our best way going forward with the company. And those AEW low and mid-carders better snap out that dream if their head isn't in that way, much like Spud crying on there, and even though he worked it, that's going to happen to them. They're going to be pushed out. That's wrestling.
Yeah. You have a lot of points, man. And the same thing I just said about WWE, AEW is also a business that wants to make money.
Yep.
So it would be smart business. Like, for instance, let's say you had a choice between taking Zack Ryder, who's got a lot of TV time, very well established, or myself, Chris Silvio, who doesn't have as much time as Zack Ryder. Smart business would say, go with Zack Ryder. Maybe there's something else you could have Chris Silvio do, but you got to look at it that way. You know, they're going to have to make some decisions, and those decisions could help their business. But with that said, you grouped the kind of people grouped together, and I know you were just kind of throwing names out there.
Sure.
You put Jungle Boy on that list, but I would keep Jungle Boy, and I think they will too. Jungle Boy's that kid that you're going to build for years and years. I don't think he's going anywhere, and I wouldn't let him go. Even if you bring in a Zack Ryder.
If he got fired tomorrow, would WWE snap him up?
If it weren't in this situation, yes, he would be in NXT.
Just based on the fact that he's Perry's son too alone.
I think
he has a great look.
I think with him passing away, I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm not saying he doesn't. But the wrestling bubble has grown for so long, and this kid got in because of XYZ reason, nepotism, celebrity, what have you, and he's busted his ass and done well on there. But at the end of the day, that ain't going to fucking draw tickets. That is more for Cody and them to say, we got Luke Perry's son as one of our fucking boys, than it is to go, who is going to put some asses in seats?
Well, bro, nobody's going to draw tickets until they're put in the position. The ringmaster didn't sell tickets.
I think Zack Ryder, Zack Ryder unleashed with no woo-woo and that shit will fucking draw, dude, just from what people want to see. It's like a guy getting out after 14 years. You thought he was going to get paroled that one time he won. That's like him getting before the parole board and then be like, no, you're back in fucking jail for the rest, like for another 5 years, bro. That's what it feels like. So just the anticipation of what they could do now, if he comes out with Long Island Z and woo 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 and that, now we're fucking blown it, and then that's just them being short-sighted and thinking they're over. But the reality of being able to reinvent somebody in a new way, going from a stunning Steve Austin, because that's the same story. He was fucking handcuffed, shelved, and fucking shit, and then he became Stone Cold. But are you gonna fucking just bring him over and let Zack Ryder be the toy guy again? Or are you really gonna fucking make him the muscle hunk badass winner that he absolutely should be?
Hey, let me ask you guys this. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a good talent. He's a very nice person.
Yes.
I've met him. I've worked with him. But has the ship sailed? Think about the amount of time that's passed since the Long Island IC, since he got that initial push with the U.S. belt, and I think Eve Torres, and then he went down the card. And had a few things here and there, but has that ship sailed? You know, he was real over in the underground for a while, but it's been 10 years. You know, can he still move?
It's a good
the way
question.
that he did?
I still see the money there. I feel it. I thought about that too in my gut. And then with Cody putting him over, I think if you got rid of all the douchebaggery and like the whatever he did to survive and whatnot, and he is super nice. Here's the thing. What's the rule with nice guys in the biz? They're usually the best fucking heels. And we haven't seen him be that. And I could see him come in and be loved and just have great matches with Spears and go back over, you know. There's just a lot that those guys have to offer that have never been unhandcuffed. And I think that's what people want, and that's what the draw is to it, not the fact that he's a great wrestler and that how he looks. It's like a guy is coming out into freedom, and what's that going to be? Or they're going to miss the spot on it, one of the two. But that's somebody's TV time. Whoever was on the TV this week, that's your time. So all these people who are thanking and, oh, I'm so happy or so sad for my brothers, but we're thinking about you. The reality is it's like, don't come for my fucking spot. You know?
Hey, I love Gallows and Anderson. I think they're hilarious, and you could do so much with them. I would say, in my opinion, of everybody that's gone, I think the most money that can be made with one of them, Russo is going to be my pick. Who do you guys have? Sorry, Rusev.
I'll say Russo got, yeah.
No, Russo ain't going up there. Who do you guys got? Rusev is my pick to move the needle the most of anyone if they pick him up.
Yeah, I would say he's in there. I'm just gonna go back and look at my list real quick. So I'm
the three guys that I thought that would probably be the best fit for AEW were Rowan, Ryder, and Rusev. I think that those three can make a good impact
What about Rowan? I'm not shitting on him. What about Rowan do you think would work in AEW? Because you and I have both said this, and I'm not on the same page. Nothing against him.
When they showed Daniel Bryan and Rowan where he was doing the mastermind thing for 2 weeks, that shook. I don't know if you saw that. Like they took him out of the, like it showed that he could be a leading man. And there's something there. And then we come back with dumbass Cage and Spider and all that fucking shit. So whatever. A guy who was backup to the backup in the Wyatt family, then plays backup again, but gets a chance to show that he's an elevated character, and then they take it away. Well, we got to see a little glimpse of brilliance there. And he's got the size. And we're tired of being told, and not, forgive me, Sue, we're tired of being told that, because you got the abs, you fucking work your ass off, but guys that look like the kid who wrestled in the squash match tonight, that could be from any indie anywhere, is an elite wrestler. I'm tired of being told, not that Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy or the Chucky T haven't paid their dues and that shit. The reality is Eric Rowan will come in and fucking end all three of them, and that's believable to me. Being told that some kids who look like they're from the mall food court are elite wrestlers is not believable to me. And that guy's a star. That guy is fucking Big John Studd. He's got something. When he walks in the room, people are going to turn their fucking head.
That's what I was going to say too. When I look at Rowan, he looks like a character. He looks like a monster. He looks like a pro wrestler. And that's what I like about pro wrestling, when there's a different mishmash of characters, and that way no one just looks cookie cutter. No one's ever doing the same moves. I like the different variations, because it makes up that crazy kooky carny story that is pro wrestling. So I personally like Rowan. I think he would be good. I don't know if I necessarily would pair him with Harper, but I think he would be good in the division itself. Same thing with Rusev and Ryder. I think Rusev's never really gotten his due after the whole Tank thing at WrestleMania. They kind of pulled his story from under his feet. Same thing with Ryder. He started to get over right before WrestleMania, and they pulled it out under him. So I'd like to give those three guys, a true run with a good story, and see if they can get over and draw. I think that would be interesting to see.
I think EC3 and Rockstar Spud could get over there. Who else here? Sarah Logan, I don't know. Mike Canales, I don't know. I think No Way Jose could be a breakout dude, man, to be honest with you. Because, again, what have we ever gotten from No Way Jose? You look at him and you're like, look at the size of that motherfucker. And then get in the conga line. It's kind of like same as Ricky Ortiz, Atlas to Bone, dude. You could see money on Atlas, and then they didn't do shit. I don't know where Deonna Purrazzo is in the friendship gimmick with them, but Gallows and Anderson both are talents that definitely could draw for them and get over with the Bullet Club stuff.
Shout out to Electro Black, 100 bits. Sorry, go ahead, Silvio.
How much could Serena Deeb help the AEW?
Massively. And I just missed a call from her, but, she doesn't know we're on air. But we all love that girl so much in our core group. And I try not to mention her name because I don't ever want it to be like, is Deeb the reason her affiliation with me, she got fired? That's my own paranoia and ego, and it probably has nothing to do with that whatsoever, right?
It doesn't.
Right, but you fucking always worry about your friends if you're a heater for some people and heat by association, so I don't like to drop her name. But when she needs me, I'm there, like for anybody. But over there's nobody better that you could bring in to make sure the women's stuff is agented the right way. I know her name was batted around before while she was an NXT coach when the war was kind of war, if you want to call it that, this fall when it was kind of first starting, because they know how good she is. Spears knows, Cody knows how good she is. She's the one who can work Beth Phoenix, ODB, and all them and fucking have a phenomenal match as pretty much a rookie. Then she can take these rookies and fucking as an NXT coach now and have them TV ready, have the matches where they're protected, and really help them raise their game to a new level, man. And to be honest with you, forget agenting. I'd put her in the ring. And and not just because I'm a mark for her. I wouldn't put the belt on her, but I'd have her working your top talent because she'll make a Britt Baker. She'll make a Statlander. She'll make everybody look incredible, dude. And then people will really be talking about the elite level of women's wrestling that's going on at AEW.
I'd have her do both. I'd have her in the ring
Sure.
with the top girls, and I'd have her agenting every single match. There's only like 2 women's matches a week. She can handle that. She can handle agenting.
And she's worked Japan, so she's probably familiar with Rio and a bunch of them as well, right?
Speaking of Japan, I brought this up in our chat about Gallows and Anderson, and the chat room on Twitch is talking about it too. Japan is looking to be probably the first country that's going to reopen back up the live wrestling with the audience. I suggested, or I think that that's probably where they're going to end up back. That Gallows and Anderson will probably end up back in the Bullet Club or the Firing Squad, what they're calling it now in New Japan. Is there anybody else that you guys could see potentially making a move to Japan and having a bigger impact there?
I don't know if Gallows and Anderson will, as popular as they are. If they need the money and it's there, then they will, because money talks, bullshit walks. But Anderson's got 3 sons, all at a very impressionable age when they want their dad around, and especially if he's around now, it's going to be even tougher to go, unless he moves his whole family there, unless they all move to Japan and he does like a 2-year deal. I could see that. But they definitely could. Leo Rush, maybe. Aiden English, I don't know what's in store for him in the future, bro. That's a tough
I think he'll
call.
be NWA, to be honest.
Yeah, he could be, but that's a losing money front too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how long is that going to last, right? And to come back after this. So, I don't know. Eric Young, maybe, but he's had quite a long career too.
He'll probably back with Impact. I mean, I already saw
Probably.
Scott D'Amore putting him over on Twitter, like, who the heck would fire Eric Young? So, he'll
Yeah.
probably
So,
go there.
right there.
Can I say one last thing on this?
Sure.
Only
most
if you book yourself against the
One thing.
only if you book yourself against the new tag team Rybuck. Oh no.
Fuck yeah, I will. Definitely. I think the most depressing person involved in all this, and it's not in his release, was EC3. I saw EC3 at Impact. I worked several tapings there, and he was so damn gold and good and had money written all over him. And they picked him up, and absolutely nothing was done. It was so, you've seen people get on the national spotlight or get to WWE, and for whatever reason, they just don't go with that.
Whoa.
EC3 was a sad story, and I think he's a lot of money if you treat this guy right.
You didn't see that brilliant VTR package they put together where he comes into a condo and puts his keys on the fucking countertop? EC3 real estate agent That's what he was out there doing this whole time. He was moving high equity condos, baby. I agree. EC3 is a stud. He is your heel John Cena. What more could you possibly want? You had it with him and Rockstar Spud. It was all given to you, all right there. If there's one star that Impact truly, truly made, it's EC3 and Rockstar Spud together. And for them to be marginalized again and then just absolutely brutal, and a Rip Rogers OVW guy who totally gets it, and has the fucking insane body to back it up, and then nothing. Absolutely just fizzles on the vine. Just like you have the most perfect fruit that you've grown and you don't pick it. You just let it die, wither, and rot. Not that he's rotted or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that, but like, why wouldn't
Practically
you?
did.
Pretty much.
No fault of his own.
Pretty much. Well, I would say no fault of his own because he does do those things where they don't give a fuck. That shows they don't give a fuck. When he's out there with Braun and Drake and they're going to shoot guns and then they got to do the pose down with their shirts off and shit like that. That's just not cute to me, especially when you're not over on TV, or if you are and it's not backing it up. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see, he's smart enough that he should be doing his business in character, the EC3 character on social media, just like MJF does. And if there is a guy to put him with, it's EC3, MJF, and fucking Rockstar Spud in a crew. That's got money written all over it, dude.
Those spears in there, we got a new horseman.
Forget about it. Fucking forget about it.
Well, let's talk a little AEW since we've spent a good portion of this time breaking down all the other stuff, guys.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up a couple of different side stories here. First off, Killer Cross is now going by Karrion Kross. I did some research. Karrion is the god of death. So there you go. He's still Killer Kross, guys. So
Finally.
The internet trolls freaking out. Chill out. He's still Killer Kross. You mentioned Cody Rhodes. He did comment on Zack Ryder, saying his best wrestling days are ahead of him. So it kind of pretty much all concludes that he's probably going to end up there. He did a really long post, like on his Instagram. I'd like to take a moment to say how proud I am of Zack Ryder, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go through the copy. You can go find it. But, so yeah, it looks like Zack Ryder will probably end up there, which we all kind of knew that as soon as he got released, that that's probably where he's going to end up going. And the last thing is here, did you go over on the Friday Locker Room, the Aaron Stevens
yes.
story?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well. Then,
let's get to the show. We did an hour up top on all that, man. It was good talk. Let's do it.
All right, AEW Dynamite. So to go over some numbers from last week. Last week they did 692,000 viewers. Tonight's key competition was NXT The Masked Singer and more mainstream news coverage of the coronavirus. I also think there was a Bachelor show on ABC or something like that. Their YouTube numbers, they didn't have anything posted yet as their Dynamite YouTube numbers, but they did this show in 2 different locations tonight. The main show was filmed, we believe, still out of QT's compound, and the main event was filmed in Jacksonville. So tonight's show started off with Jake the Snake Roberts and his pre-match promo. It was really good. Sorry?
He's so good. I mean, It takes me back. That's what I'm most pumped about with these type of things. Like, give the guy a shot. And then when Arn gets the mic or when Jake gets the mic, I can't turn my head away, dude. I feel like I'm 8-10 years old again going, every fucking word I'm hanging on, dude. Like, from the breathe in to the draw you in. Yeah, Colt Cabana, you got some moves. I've been watching you. I've said, but you're not him. Like, I'm just like, fuck, bro. It gets me, dude. I love that shit, man.
You know, Lance Archer was forced out of his own country.
Yeah,
he had to go to Japan, make a name for himself. Now he's back.
But he doesn't just do that. It's that contemplating. It's that, yeah, like, you know, where he's in the moment, in his space with it.
Right.
That is just such a high level performance, dude. I love to watch it.
Well, the cadence too, in which he delivers it too, the way he draws you into each word and breath, and how he enunciates and delivers. It's a beautiful thing. Mr. Silvio, what'd you think of this opening package?
It was great, man. Beautiful. The first 2 promos of this show were phenomenal. When I saw it come on, a little part of me was like, man, I hope this doesn't become formulaic, because we've seen a couple shows now open with Jake, but it was so damn good that thought left my head immediately.
Well, Jake opens up every week, then you can only go downhill. No, I'm just kidding. He's just so damn good, right? Well, they didn't go downhill, though, right away as far as the following this promo, though, as we did have the first match of the night, second match of the TNT Championship Tournament. Lance Archer, Colt Cabana. My favorite match of tonight's broadcast was this match itself. These guys were very aggressive, back and forth. Wasn't too much acrobatics. It was just two big brooding guys in there going back and forth. The story of this match, of course, being Colt trying to, get in some offense on the big guy, as Lance Archer is the murder hawk. I'd say probably about halfway through the match, he did start to wear down Archer a little bit. Archer slowly climbed up the ropes, ended up getting crashed and burned on the second rope splash attempt. Colt caught him with a running head scissors takedown and a splash for a 2 count. He kept Archer up with a little flip-flop fly action, but then within a minute was back on his back. And then after a giant choke slam and the blackout, the victory went to Lance Archer. So he advances to the semifinals. To start with you, Mr. Silvio, what did you think of this match?
I really like the opening video with those two, and I like that better than the match. Nothing against either performer. I think they both do what they do well, but it was so strong, and Cabana was heartfelt, and how they were building up Archer was great. The match itself, I thought was a little bit of a styles clash. I'm not sure what it was, but they didn't really do anything bad or wrong. I just thought maybe they could have done a different pairing for that first round, but Cabana is fucking awesome. He did a hell of a job. The one thing I will note, Archer's good. Cabana looked terrified taking that finish at the end, the reverse Razor's Edge.
Yeah.
He was doing the face, he was doing a selling face, but I could see in his eyes.
He's like, oh boy.
Scared. He's a big boy.
Dude, that's what I was going to say. That if you have never been next to Colt Cabana, he's a big son of a bitch, as big as me, and barrel-chested all the way through, a thick bastard. So to see him up against, Archer, and Archer still looks like a beast. I was like, Archer's a big son of a bitch, man. There's no doubt about that, and the reason he should go over. I think they went too long here, Sil. I think they could have shaved. True. I think they could have shaved 3 minutes off it, because Archer is a killer, Cabana's legit, and it doesn't mean just because Cabana's legit and bigger that Archer still can't run through him in a impactful way to get to that point, Not that they overdid spots and did comedy. I'm kind of with you, because I like the match, but I'm kind of like, did it work? And I think there wasn't anything in it where I'm like, they shouldn't have done this, that, or the other. I think they just could have cut 2 minutes, and it would have made it a lot more impactful for Archer, which is the business of all this.
That's what it was, man. If they could have done all this stuff and Colt is just dipping and dodging the whole time until Archer finally gets a hold of him, that's the one big bump up for that reverse Razor's Edge. Boom. Yep. Cabana could have done all Cabana shit. Archer could have looked strong. That's all it needed, man. A few minutes shorter, and I think it would have. And
there's things he could have looked mean on that Colt could have got his shit in. So Colt does the run in, does the whoop, jumps straight up in the corner and turns, and then comes back and slides under his legs. I think it'd be better going in the corner, whoop, straight up, come back down, turn, boot is right there. You're not going to do your cute shit here, bro. They needed more really devastating cutoffs from Archer, and that should be his game going forward, where anything that is going to be a spot, like a triple spot, you know what I mean, the triple Indy, should get cut off in stage 2 by him. He should say, the whole game should be nobody's getting any shit in on me, spot fest-wise. And
you know what else?
Go ahead.
I want to see more of these kind of interviews with Cabana. We all know he's goofy. He does comedy and stuff like this. But this makes him a serious contender where he could say, yeah, I like to have fun, but don't forget, I'm a 25-year-old pro who knows how to kick ass. That's the way we're going to legitimize Cabana and make him into a legitimate championship-level contender.
Well, Colt's great on the podcast, and this is what you're getting are those reps of yeah, I understand he got thrown out of America, or he's wrestled in Japan. I wrestled in Japan too, and China, and India. It's not Colt being goofy. It's Colt's just got that likable babyface persona about him, but he's telling a truth to you, his truth, and you're not really used to seeing Colt. He's not serious. I worked here, I worked there. It's just like Colt being Colt, and I like that, dude. I agree. He shined so much in that pre-tape that it had me into the match. And then when the match went long, I was like, they missed the go home point.
Yeah, so after that, there throughout the night, they started it after this match. There was videos.
Hold on 1 second. I was going to ask you, Matt. I mean, you already going to say you were going to kick the shit. I don't know if you listened to the Impact Attack.
Oh my God,
Silvio or not, but Schaffer said he would have pulled Ken Shamrock out of the back of the car at the end and beat the shit out of him.
If I had 10 guys
for
with
Sami
me.
Callihan, he said he would have beat Ken Shamrock's ass. So I want to know how would he have handled Archer here in the go home if Matt was to take out Archer?
I wouldn't have gotten in the ring. I would have gotten in, and I would have just gotten right out, taken the 10 count, and gone home. Like,
okay. All right, heel enough then. But I mean, he said he'd whoop the fuck out and shit out of old Ken Shamrock.
Somebody's gonna pass that along to Ken Shamrock for real.
Whoop that ass. So, I know he's got to learn the hard way. He's got to learn the hard way.
Well, shout out to Joe Jan. He actually did hit me up. Joe Jan said he's just been really busy working.
Okay.
Pulling double duty right now. I guess he's basically making himself a commodity, making sure he keeps his job. So
can't fault the guy there, man. I totally get it. Totally get it.
Shout out to Joe Jan. We miss him. But anyway, back to AEW. Several videos throughout the night hyped up the main event between Jon Moxley and Jake Hager. So they did stuff with Ariel Helwani, guys Mike Goldberg from Bellator, comedian Ron Fuentes, and a bunch of other guys, whether they were, sports professionals or journalists, throughout the night. Or Munchkin. I don't know. I don't want to butcher his name.
Phil Mushnick.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, they had him on. I like this. This was really cool. I brought a big fight feel to it. Some of that realism that UFC does when they're they're hyping up their fights, and you've got a legitimate MMA fighter in this. What did you think of that, Ben, throughout the night as far as the
I thought it was a great way to cut away and build hype for the fight outside. You've got the world of UFC or Bellator, MMA. They're incorporating it. People know Ron Funches is an indie darling, as one of those Battle LA fans. Get him in there, like they're using the coolness of the underground of wrestling and UFC the way they should be. And WWE won't get out of their own way to do that. WWE should come over the top and go, you got Ariel Helwani, we got Joe Rogan. If he's in on it with Dana White, that's the real money. I mean, who wants to watch Raw? Would you rather watch Raw or would you rather watch a 2-hour sit down with Joe Rogan and Vince McMahon talking about the state of the planet, bro?
My God,
what's going to draw on USA in a live fucking thing, right? So whatever, dude. Those are our bigger ideas.
Can we get that Joe Rogan Vince McMahon podcast?
But they used Ariel and they used all the guys that they should the right way, and it gave them an extra 3 minutes. That's great, dude. When you're got empty arena wrestling and you're looking to chop some stuff up there, I think it was very smart.
Before you jump in, Silvio, though, Ben, I have to follow up. How mad was Dave Meltzer that he didn't get to be in the video? Like, Do
you think that's not by design?
Silvio, what did you think of this?
Meltzer was too busy burying Vince McMahon for running a corporation, publicly traded corporation.
Gotcha.
I was so appalled by the fact that they would actually fire people. He's too busy to commentate on that. Anyway, take it away.
Did you like this video package? I mean, is this something?
I liked it.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. Well, next up, we did have a kind of a recap from what happened with Britt Baker the previous week as she came out for her next match against Cassandra Golden. This was a quick match, just a talent enhancement match. Baker kicked her in the back of the head and got the quick win. It wasn't even a finisher. She just
See, this is what was tough though, because Britt Baker goes over on a chick that's bigger than her in the way that Archer should have gone over on Cabana. So right after I felt that's when I felt it even more. I was like, the big killer can't get a squash, but the dentist can.
That's
okay.
true.
Okay. We're elite.
So yeah, Britt Baker is your winner here. What did you think about this, Mr. Silvio?
I didn't understand what they were doing with the promo. Like, she did an okay promo.
It was a weird promo, though.
She put on the glove and this, like,
the
I didn't
needle.
know if in the match she was going to try to start giving people injections. I don't know why they did that. But as far as the match, you gave Britt a big, strong win, which is exactly what she needed. And right now, she's still holding the crown, man. Britt is still my favorite, my number one draft pick in the women's division.
They should have her come out. Don't put a needle in it, but use like one of those whatever shot distributors and fill it up with water and make it look like she's numbing their lips or something.
The thing they give you when you get your wisdom teeth out to flush your socket. No, like after you get your wisdom teeth out, they give you a big syringe and you put water in it to flush out the sockets so you don't get dry sockets. And if she just had something like that was like that, where she can come out and do that or whatever, or go for it and get somebody in the eye with it. Who knows what the solution is? Holy shit. Right? Or she hits them with...
This ain't ballet. I think she should just start sticking bitches.
Yeah.
Just shoot Novocaine people. Shoot Novocaine people in the shoulder and their arm goes limp and shit. They can't fucking do the fucking flappy arm fight and shit. I'm down for comedy. Why not?
New Jack was, tasering motherfuckers. Why not, right?
Matt, you're a South Park guy. What about this? Tell me how much heat there is here. So you remember when Cartman injected Kyle with HIV when he kept saying he's not just sure he's HIV positive?
I'm not just positive. I'm HIV positive.
So what if Britt were to inject somebody with the coronavirus?
That's it.
That would be great. It would definitely show that they're aware of what's going around in pop culture. However, I think that there might be some legal ramifications that might get blurred there. There might be some SJW fans. Tell me the coronavirus and they're on TV. They're supposed to be at home.
She gets it back in the end. Of course, somebody sticks her with the coronavirus.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to be fake, but my grandfather died. So, you can't put that on TV.
I think I like where you're going, but sticking people with needles is going to get pretty shady quick. But do the same thing. Do the same thing. Like she's already got it, and like doesn't want to sell for it, and goes in the room and is always like, and everybody backs up and sells for it, and then she's like, "What, you guys? I just want to give you a hug." Like, no, nobody gets near. And then somebody's always snotty, but they don't want to put over Crow. You never have to say it. You just have to imply the cough or the sneeze, and everyone fucking sells for it. I think
they're trying to get her over as a creepy doctor. She just needs to be injecting people with poison.
I'm down, man. Needles for all, I guess. Everyone will be in shape for WrestleMania next year. That's going to be canceled in LA.
Well, after that, it's the story of a bubbly Brady with some guys from the inner circle.
Yeah.
And they had a bottle of champagne and some stuffed animals. And this would broadcast around the world. So the inner circle does a gag where they're all on FaceTime together, mocking the Elite and Matt Hardy. Sammy Guevara is working out the entire time. Santana and Ortiz are I thought they were pretty funny in this. They're talking about whatever they were talking about. I was having a hard time. Kids cover their ears was a good point. As Hager goes, kids cover your ears. I'm going to beat the shit out of Mox.
Earmuffs, yeah.
Earmuffs, right? And then finally Chris Jericho appears and he's doing kind of a like a rendition. He's trying to make a fried egg or whatever, and he's spilling orange juice on the counter. And he thinks Cody Exotic may have chopped up Brandy and fed her to Pharaoh. That was great.
Somebody else. No, he thought he chopped up Hangman.
He chopped up Hangman.
Chopped up Hangman, I'm sorry. And then he gets off the phone and screams at his agent because he still doesn't have any toilet paper. Where's my toilet paper? This was hilarious. I thought it was funny. I mean, it was a little elitish, definitely a BTE style. And but I mean, it filled something and it worked. What'd you think of this, Ben? Jericho
should have a throne made out of toilet paper.
Right.
And where he delivers from, right? And just fucking there. This shows how hip they are, because this is a knockoff of something pop culture that I can't remember. It's like a World Star thing, or somebody did something where they did a video like that. What it is the Rush Challenge, I think it's called, where these girls don't rush, right? Where they do something where they show themselves no makeup, and then they make up the camera and they come back and they look hot as hell, and then they throw the makeup thing to the chick, and it goes to the next one and she catches it, right? And that may be even based off of something else. The fuck do I know? I got a company to run. So from there, I think they took that pop culture style and then used it there. So I noticed it. I didn't know what the reference was fully because, like I say, I'm getting older and more detached, but I knew it was something along those lines. So to me, that's something that would go right over WWE's head, right? And when I'm marking points on the fucking board, point AEW on that one for good artists create, great artists steal and make it their own. That's what they did. So I think it worked, and we got to see everybody in their own little quarantined world, and we knew it was just them on their cell phones, and they put it together in a trick that made us look like, okay, that was simple, fun. We know everybody's locked at home. They're giving us content. They're at least trying, which is what really sells this. It's the effort to give us something unique and creative while we're stifled as artists. We're going to find a way. What is in The Departed? You give me a tuber, I'm going to get you something out of it. I'm an artist, right? So that's what they're doing right now. And hats off to them in this little scene. I liked it.
Silvio, don't rush me. Life could be so much more. You're well worth waiting for.
It was stupid. It was wacky. And I loved it.
Now, speaking of stupid and wacky, if you're not, I know you guys don't necessarily follow it, but being the Elite, the last couple weeks, they've been doing wrestling matches on it. And I've obviously come to the conclusion that these guys are all quarantined. So that's why the Young Bucks, Hangman, Kenny Omega, they're not appearing on Dynamite because they're stuck in Cali. And they have announced for next week's BTE 200, it's going to be Nick Jackson versus Matt Jackson. So they're going to be wrestling each other. So if you guys are,
I think that's a mistake, man. That's big money. That's big fucking money. Why would you give that away?
Because it's the BTE 200.
No,
it's your big show.
Nope.
Where are they wrestling? I don't watch.
They're literally wrestling at like Nick and Matt's house. They rented the old PWG ring. They've got it right on their tennis court, and they're
okay. I saw that. I didn't know that they owned a tennis court. They have a tennis court, like they own one.
Of course they do. They're elite. The elite.
Tennis?
The elite. It's probably his wife, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I think they might have just bought the house.
And it's probably there.
That, and it was there, you know.
Oh shit, they're doing all right, man. If they got their own tennis court, fuck.
Why not?
Oh yeah. I think they're doing fine.
You think about when they were in New Japan, just in pro wrestling tees alone, that bought that house and that tennis court. Before there was an AEW, that fucking house was paid for.
Yep. So they're doing their BTE special over there. They did a interesting segment this week where they actually, this is why I wanted to bring it up, where they actually had Marty Scurll and Flip Gordon on BTE, and it was their first time since AEW started. I saw Matt's fucking Gmail when he was on his phone. We were talking at 2CW, bro.
Like, and just the fucking, this is the end of 2CW 2015. There had to be 40, like he's scrolling through looking for an email, and there had to be 40 to 60 fucking pro wrestling tours. That's just that after fucking noon, bro. Just
Are you talking
that
about purchases?
Yes. Every time somebody buys one, we get all your information. It
right.
auto generates and sends to us, so people can call and say thank you or whatever they want to do. Come stalk you, but wrestlers,
or make sure you don't stalk them.
Wrestlers can come stalk you, right? So just the amount alone, I just thought back to that. I had a flashback. I was like, God damn, those guys were doing crazy business then. I could only imagine what their merch sales. They have to have more. They could possibly be maybe not over Rocker, Austin, or Hogan, but they're definitely in the top 5, I think, of all time. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just mentioning Marty Scurll, his first appearance, anything AEW related since AEW began. That happened this week, so I found that.
Oh, really? What did he do?
It was like a quick little segment. They were all talking about the Matt versus Nick match, and they go to Marty Scurll, his head shaved. He goes, "What the fuck do I care? Those guys are dead to me." And then it jumped over to Book, and Book's like, and Flip's like, "Am I going to get booked out of this?" So
it was just like a little cameo thing that he shot himself. He wasn't in the scene.
No, yeah, he shot it, sent it to them, but it's still first time anything. Yeah. So. Sounds like the doors might be opening there. And we talked about this on Impact, AEW building that relationship with Impact or Ring of Honor, and through this BTE episode, that's kind of what I took from that they're slowly starting to build that bridge between those two companies. So after the, I'm sorry, I skipped you, Silvio. Did you want to talk on about the Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson stuff at all, or
my only question is, do you guys know what ROH is doing right now in all of this?
Well, so Ring of Honor is filmed ahead as well, so they have stuff in the can. I know that, but as far as what they're doing, as far as creating new content, the only thing I can tell you, I can confirm, is that Jargo is, because he works for Sinclair, he's doing Podcast of Honor. So he's recording stuff with some of the talent, and I think they're going to pump it in to the show. But that's about as much as I know.
I feel like they've been radio silent. I haven't heard hide nor hair of ROH since all this broke.
I might have a stooge report for you later.
Okay.
All right.
So after that, we've got, as Chris Jericho affectionately names him, Pineapple Pete, a.k.a. Sugar Dunkerton, taking on Sammy Guevara in another talent enhancement match. Winner of this match was Sammy Guevara. She got a surprise roll-up, but Guevara caught him with the Argentine GTS for the victory. After the match, Sammy got on the mic and promised to beat the shit out of Darby Allin in the first round of the TNT Championship tournament. And then just as he was about to continue the beatdown on Sugar, Darby ran out and chased him off. Mr. Silvio, what did you think of this segment?
2007 or 8, I went to Atlanta area and I did one of Bill Barron's shows. I think it was NWA Wild Side or Anarchy, something like that. This is a place that AJ Styles and all those guys had built up. This was several years later. I got randomly paired in a tag team match with the young skinny African-American fellow named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he spun a basketball on his finger. He was very green. Years later, that man would grow into Suge D, Sugar Dunkerton. Recently, Suge hit me up when I was working a lot in England and kind of asked me some questions on, how to go about getting out there and things like that. And he really got his hustle on, and he went to the UK, got himself over. He's getting his name out there in the independents. So over the last 2 years, Suge has been one of the bigger hustlers getting shit done. So I was so excited to see him get this opportunity, but I was kind of sad in the way that it happened because I thought they could have made more out of the match. Yes, the business was for Sammy to get Sammy over, but if that's the case, I don't think they needed whatever 8 or 10 minutes the match took, to just have Suge getting beat up this whole time. If that's what it was going to be, it should have been a 4-minute match, Sammy over. But I just wish they would have had Suge do a little bit more just to help the flow of the match or shorten it. I'm happy for him. I'm proud he got his shot, but I know he could have given them more. Sammy looks great. He's one of my MVPs, but the match either needed to be shorter or Suge needed more.
I agree with that, man. Suge's got so much in style, coolness, gimmick to get over. It's not about him wrestling whatsoever. It's in his entrance. It's before the bell even rings. He needs to have his little, whatever he does is James Brown routine, where he does the split and shit, right, in the beginning. That's it. And from there, and then let him out wrestle and do a little shuck and jive thing and point it back to fucking Guevara like it's a dance-off. And Guevara then, as a heel, gets to sell, and then he looks like he might join, and then he can jump and heal him and start his heat right there. But all that time ahead, you as an opponent, you have to know that Suge D's whole thing is his gimmick, and we got to get that over before I get my heat, and it's got to upset me before I do that. And we just didn't get enough of that. And you can go right into the win right away after that because we got him over. You're upset, and it's something vicious, and now you look like a killer. But to go a little bit too long again, and stunt on him and have him down, I don't know. There wasn't enough heat from Sammy Guevara to make that believable. It just looks like they're going into a spot for TV. You know what I mean?
Suge was selling so long, I started to think, holy shit, they're going to slip him over on Sammy. That was the flow.
I thought they might fucking hit the crucifix right there and roll him back. I agree on the ground. I thought that was coming too. Wow. But then he goes over strong, and Suge lays there while Guevara cuts the promo to come back and get business on him, which is good biz by Sugar Dunkerton, who's going to do what he's told in his first thing. But the setup of the scene wasn't that done the right way. Should have done how I said, shine him in the beginning, let Sammy go over quick, bell rings, bing, 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 get right on him after the bell. Let him even reverse the decision. Give Sugar Dunkerton the win. How long has it been since you've seen that? A reverse decision from post-match violence, and now he's got his heat. Then he grabs the mic and says, I don't give a shit about beating this guy. I'm in the tournament. And the sex god is coming to sex you, Sexian, right? So all
I'm gonna
that.
sex this kid up right now.
Yeah. You want to get sexed over again?
I will rape you in the mouth. I will rape you in the mouth.
You're all a little sexier for watching me beat the sex out of him. Like, dude, get it over. Get the words over. Like, it is ridiculous. So, right idea, wrong order. You know what I mean? That's all this was. And again, they need somebody to help them punch that kind of stuff up. But I don't know if Sammy Guevara would be one of those guys that might be hurting that trickle down I was talking about earlier. But he could be. Like, that's kind of that's the kind of the cutoff line for me, dude. You know, that's a guy who might not lose his job, but he could get pushed to fucking dark. You know,
I think Jericho's going to look out for him, but you're right, it is possible.
Anything is.
The funniest part of that whole thing to me was when Darby ran out at the end. They practiced social distancing. He didn't get close to Sammy or Show.
Yeah, that was good, and Darby looked good, fast, like quick, fast, get a foot through the rope the other way, skirt around, fuck you, I'm coming that the other way, fuck you, oh shit, like that was real good cat and mouse give and chase there. I like that, man.
Yeah. Fuck them all to death. Let's make this country great again. So, next up, we had Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford taking on Chuck Taylor, who was accompanied by Orange Cassidy. I thought this match went a little too long for my personal taste. I thought it could have gone 3 or 4 minutes less. Clearly, they are listening to the AEW Like the Fuse podcast because Chris Jericho mentioned on podcast, Chucky T gets a lot of gruff for, not having a six-pack or, not looking as chiseled. But, Bobby Eaton,
let's never compare the in-ring work of Bobby Eaton to fucking the best.
He did, though. He did.
I know, but that he was doing it as a rib. That's all a rib, dude. Like,
okay.
That's him when Chucky listens to that back, he should be terrified for his fucking job, bro. When I heard that, I was like, as soon as the car door closes with them, he's going, dude, we can't have that guy on TV anymore. He don't give a fuck. We've given him 4 to 5 months and look at him.
Interesting. That's how it was. I didn't take it like that.
Oh yes. Still, am I wrong in that?
You're not necessarily wrong. It could happen. I don't know, but it's certainly possible.
Well, let's talk about the match itself. These guys, not to say that they didn't have a good back and forth match itself. Sabian was working the back over as far as Chuck T. He was arguing with Orange Cassidy around the ringside to try and draw away the ref's attention, which allowed Penelope Ford to get involved in this match a couple times. Ultimately, it ended with the match. Jimmy Havoc attacks Orange Cassidy at ringside, distracting the ref, and then Penelope Ford, weird ending, gets in the ring, does a diving head scissors, and that's what beats Chucky. That's what beats Sabian as Chuck. Sorry, I'm getting
this is the weird. So Penelope Cruz.
Sabian wins because Penelope Ford did it.
Penelope Ford comes in and hits a head scissors, and that's enough to beat the guy after going 12 minutes. Yeah. Like, again, somebody's not getting it, dude. And I gotta not tell tale. I do a podcast with a guy whose name rhymes with Russo. And he's
got good coffee.
He did a podcast with a guy's name who rhymes with is Barry Grin, who used to be in ECW, who's also a AEW agent. And Russo had forgotten or didn't know, or Russo had forgotten or didn't know about that, and was talking openly about what we are like. It's kids doing what they want to do. Nobody wants to listen to authority or veterans, and it's nobody's really running everything how it should be, where they're the omnipotent one, and that's where the line is drawn. And Russo saying that, and then Jerry Lynn's kind of agreeing with all of it and saying, yes, this is how it is, and like not trying to put heat on Lynn, but like that's the reality. If you got guys who are 30-year vets who've been through every locker room and it's not set up the way it should be for success in TV, well, why not? And unfortunately, why isn't Jerry Lynn or Malenko or whoever stepping up and saying, all right, we got to stop this. I get you're a cute prick on the indies, but this ain't making for best TV. Penelope Ford going over on a head scissors on this guy is not the heat when you're in a tag team to do that. Now, guess what? all the focus is on Penelope Ford, not you, Kip Sabian, not you in the win of this shit. So how are we going to pay that off? Well, we need a woman to come fight because you can't kick the shit out of her because we're an SJW company and we could never do that unless you just start identifying as a woman and put on a dress. Then that'll fucking be fine. You can have that match. But in the meantime, you got to go find yourself a woman and girlfriend. Oh, really? You're in a group called the Best Friends? So that whole business has to be done too? We're way the fuck out from any sense of a roadmap of anybody going anywhere. And the heat's on the wrong person, and you're doing something with a singles guy who versus a guy in a tag match or a tag crew. It just doesn't, it's not all there. Unless you're going to do intergender with Chuck and Orange Cassidy versus those two. And it's just Orange Cassidy comedy spots versus Penelope Ford. And they don't really get any heat on her because of how he works.
Well, I think that's what they're building to, some sort of 6-man, it looks like right now, between the Best Friends and Penelope versus Havoc, Sabian, and
how tough does Chucky look after this?
He got beat by a female who wasn't even in the match.
With a head scissor.
The head scissors, yeah.
Shits, bro.
Well, man, the car door was closed, like you said. So maybe there's something else that's why this finish ended the way it did, right? I mean,
yeah,
Silvio.
Elite.
I got some good things to say, but my biggest issues I had with this match was the most glaring, which was the finish. Sabian couldn't beat Chucky T with that draping neckbreaker suplex thing that looks like death, but Ford could beat him with a head scissor. They could have done the same kind of thing where they use her as a distraction. Chucky pops right up to his feet, and there's
the fucking
Sabian with the chair, with the move, with anything. Then he's the one that gets the fall. She just did a distraction, no different than if she grabbed his foot.
Right.
The other spot with Ford was a little weird because if you notice when they were doing the thing on the apron, it almost looked like Orange Cassidy was pulling the referee. Like for some reason, Orange was doing like this, and the referee was with him while they're cheating over there. I didn't quite understand that. But it was funny when Cassidy came up and tried to pull his shit off and do that. For the match, I didn't mind the match. I thought they did pretty good. They had some good stuff, and I liked it. I finally figured it out, though. We've been talking about what do we do with the Best Friends. I got it. I finally figured this shit out.
Yeah.
Okay, you turn Chuck Taylor heel. With his body, he's more suited to be a heel. He's sexy Chucky T. You ramp this up, and you have him talking about how sexy he is. There's his heat. Throw a girl in the mix. Maybe he stole Trent's girlfriend. That's the crux of the split. So now we have a jacked, awesome babyface Trent going in this personal grudge thing that doesn't need a belt with Chuck T. Think about this. Those two as singles have a lot of possibility to do something on the card, whereas there's 11 tag teams right now in the tag division. And, if you're not the top 3 teams, it's kind of hard to get by.
I mean, Lucha Brothers are marginalized at this point. How's that even a fucking thing? Go ahead.
You give them some personality, you give them some stakes and something emotional that's clearly not just a wacky pro wrestling angle.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can make Trent a top guy, and I think we can make Chucky a pretty good heel and have Cassidy buddies with Trent, or do something else.
I can't disagree with that. I just think putting another girl in the mix is what we kind of have to do to pay off if we're going to get heat back on her or pay off that heat. The girl in the mix is Orange Cassidy. We just got to figure out the way to introducing another character would work, but I don't think it might confuse things. We can probably get it done a little in a different way, but I like exactly where you went there. And I think that's the split because Trent is the good looking babyface who can be elevated. And Chucky just needs to be disgruntled because they've been shitting on him, and he can go right into it. And he's got the chops to get it over character-wise, I think. Absolutely, dude. And what's Bobby Eaton doing?
Currently, not much.
Nothing?
Why not? Why not do one little one?
Hey, something else, too, that jumped out at me on this match is I finally realized what's up with Sabian. So you know how we've kind of talked about we don't see much going on with him, storyline wise. Maybe there's a little disconnect. I figured this out. Sabian's got a good look and he's a good wrestler. However, from bell to bell, Sabian doesn't do anything that tells us who his character is because his matches are so directed at his opponent and what moves they're doing. So other than kissing Penelope, all we know about his character is he has a girlfriend. So Sabian needs to figure out how to insert more of who he is from his entrance to the match to leaving, to give him some kind of character direction.
Who do you see him as?
That's what he's missing.
Who do you see him as?
I don't know, man, because I don't know the guy well. I ran into him at a show in WAW in the UK a few years ago, but I don't know him as a person. I see him kind of being similar to Sammy, but he's got to be different because we can't have two Sammys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, he's got the chick. It works. I agree with you. He's good looking. He's super athletic. But I'm supposed to hate him because he's got a hot broad and that he's got a better body than me. And usually that's babyface things where you want to live vicariously through them. So he has to be braggadocious. So what's the character from movies is what I'm thinking of that would transfer in that type of thing that he could steal from and get it almost right away that we could do a knockoff version of.
Maybe put some, you know how like on the movies they do the like kind of stereotypy English character that is like well-spoken, articulate. Maybe they came from money, the kind of one that almost looks down on stupid Americans.
Yeah, like the Mickey Blue Eyes. What the fuck's his name who got busted with the hookers there?
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I could see that.
Without making it necessarily patriotic, we just give that kind of vibe. I mean, that's the first place my mind goes, but I don't know. I need to find out who he is inside to be able to bring that out.
That's interesting.
Otherwise, he might be a babyface.
Yeah, it's a great point. I agree. And when I see him and a lot of other guys, I just think of like, well, there's Sean Carr's spot. He's a Northeast indie wrestler who's great and is that baby face, dark hair, you know, that you want. And he's worked the Bucks and he's worked them all too. But every time I see Kip Sabian, I go, oh, there's Carr's spot. So.
And one more thing, not to get on his case, man, because I think he's a good talent. He's super bad. What is super bad about him? What does he do that's so bad? Yeah,
somebody put that in the chat if you didn't know. Like, just using words and monikers doesn't mean shit to me. Like, you have to fucking back it up if you're going to call yourself that or what have you. Butcher and the Blade, they haven't stabbed nobody yet.
It's true.
So after that, we had our next matchup. We had Sean Spears taking on from Tekken. No, Justin Law. That was a callback yesterday's conversation about Tekken. The kid looks about 18 years old. Spears clearly did not give a damn about this kid. Gets his man on all fours, challenges Justin to put him in a wrestling hold. Law rolls up with him into a bridge pin. Spears kicks out like he had seen a ghost. And then suddenly Spears gets very serious, hits him with the C4 and puts him away.
Well, I'd actually put you away with Law as well because that's my dude. I hit the ground, back roll, sweep the leg.
Bring it on, Eddie Gordo, dog.
Dude,
let's go.
All day. The only dude that even gives me trouble is what's the knight who can like.
Right. Stevie, could you go ahead and set this Ben Hamin versus Matt Schaefer Tekken game up on Twitch?
I don't have anything to play on, so.
Emulator, let's go.
Okay.
3D print a controller.
Yeah, right. I'll 3D print some. Yeah, man, this kid came out, he got the shot, but I'm like, okay, man, why are you putting this dude on your TV even as enhancement talent? Like, I don't know him. He just didn't look like it brings the level of the product down of what you're trying to do. And if you got people on your roster and now we're getting new people who we've never seen before, I get it because of Corona, you might be limited in who you can bring in. And I'm happy this kid got the shot, but you can't say elite. Every time I hear the word All Elite Wrestling or AEW and I think like, dude, that looks like a guy off of every indie I work. You know, I could swap in with that dude. And good for that kid getting a shot. I'm sure he's a nice dude. Not trying to shit on him. And I liked how Spears worked it. You know, get down, do some amateur wrestling, get caught with one, hit the finish, go home. Easy payday, bro. It works well. The kid shines for a second. And I'm a big mark for that because I used to do the fat man's role in practice, which is a little different what he did. When you get down in referee's position, you just grab the guy's hand and roll to your outside arm, and he comes right over the top of your body. I pinned Rudy Switchbaby with that. He did not like it. And then, Spears up, looks great, and does what Spears does, man.
He did the old NWA Saturday morning job guy spot. That's
Yep.
what that was. We see Flair do it, Tully do it. Man, I ain't mad at the match. Through the history of pro wrestling, look at NWA TV, look at WWF to WWE. They got job guys, and sometimes they show up, they don't look that great, and they get their ass kicked. If that dude was competitive with Spears or it went 6 minutes, maybe I'd feel different.
Sure.
But, he was there to not be a star at all or not even be enhancement. He was there to be a job guy. So.
There's plenty of mid card guys on your roster who don't have bodies that can get squashed easily. Why bring him in?
Maybe MSG could have done it.
Nah, he fucking after Ken Shamrock, he would have fucking laid waste to Sean Spears. Kidding me? No
Yeah,
chance.
I'd be showing him who the real chairman is,
That's
right?
it.
So up next we had Tony Schiavone and Chris Jericho's sign off. They kick it over to JR, which I'm assuming he recorded from his house. But it was Jon Moxley taking on Jake Hager. Just talk about Jim Ross to start. I thought he was brilliant on this. I mean, he really showed why he is one of the best. The ability to commentate and then lay out to get the emotion through when you're watching the match, I thought was just showing the pro that he is. But the opening minutes of this match were basically spent on the mat, both men trading counter for counter. As the story going into this was Jake Hager had been taking MMA lessons, so he's trying to defend himself against the MMA. Moxley. I'm sorry, Moxley.
Hager, four Bellator fights. I'm taking lessons now. We're gonna get serious.
Well, yeah, I'm taking out Ken Shamrock. So
right. He's probably taking lessons from you, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So Mox is taking lessons, and anyhow, so that was the story going on. It's eventually, though, this all does kind of break down. The two guys are fighting out in the open arena after the commercial break, slamming each other into concrete. Mox tried for a pile driver, but got dropped on his back instead. That looked like it hurt. They ended up in the bleachers. It's totally dark in this Daly's place. And then Mox slaps on a figure four using one of the metal guardrails for leverage, doing some serious damage there in the match. Mox refuses to quit at one point in the match after Hager moves him down with a tackle and a second rope splash. And then the conclusion of this match, see Hager hit the ropes, need the champs in the balls, just like he did in his last Bellator fight. That was a nice callback. He went away to put the match away, but Moxley got a hold of the chair in the corner, threw it in his face, hit the dirty deeds onto the chair, and got the victory. So the winner and still champion, Jon Moxley. Ben Hamin, what do you think?
Yeah, these guys worked their ass off. I popped right in the beginning. I was like, all right, Hager comes on camo. Okay, Moxley's wearing camo. All right. Like, dude, why would you do that? Why would you wear the same shit that your opponent is? That doesn't make sense to me. They both look good. Moxley's in the best shape I've seen him. He seems not limping around. He seems recovered and healthy. And Hager's at the peak of his physical condition, absolutely. Then what popped me was JR goes, I don't know why we got barriers out here. Ain't no fans in the arena. Like, so he puts it over of the ridiculousness of why are we putting barriers up. And they fight all over. They do the figure four on the outside on the steps and all this shit. And then we come back in the ring and he gets him in a submission. And this is not falls count anywhere. No holds barred. Like the grudge fight. Dude, grab the rope. We're doing rope breaks. Fight all over the arena, no count out, rope breaks. We're rotten, timeout, stop, ring the bell. And then they did it again before the finish and the go home. So guys who I would expect would have a way high acumen, one who came from right where we did at OVW and the other guy who's been through WWE and was the champ, are doing rope breaks on no holds barred. And that's tough for me to swallow.
Was it them or is it the ref?
Why would he grab the rope? He should go. The ref should go. No break. No, there's no breaks. Like that shouldn't even be in the match.
Okay.
Like if he gets him in that figure four, he should get up and thumb him in the eye, sell away, and let him chase it. Not put it on there to bury wrestling. It shows that it's not thought out, in my opinion.
Or you can knee someone in the balls, but there's a rope break.
But a fucking rope break, dude. What else? Stab him with a needle but rope break. So it's decisions like that are like, ugh. And then the follow up on this, and you guys can incorporate your thoughts in all this, is Khan puts out a tweet before seeing it's in the can and putting over, this is the greatest empty arena match of all time. Like, okay, making a mark of yourself, opening your mouth before it shows he doesn't know how to play wrestling. You put that out there and go, man, those guys worked their asses off on our show tonight. Hats off to both of them. I think, in my personal opinion, could be considered one of the greatest empty arena matches of all time. You do it after the match, not beforehand, because now you've set up expectation. And if it doesn't live up to
Rock and Foley.
Rock and Foley, which is the best one. Doesn't live up to Lawler and fucking Funk.
That's the best one.
I like Rock Foley, but yeah, Funk. Took my eye, you son of a bitch, Lawler. I love that. Yeah, you're right. It is the best one. So the fact that he's not even referencing those, and maybe he doesn't even know them. Like the fact that he
knows them.
Maybe not. But nobody's in his sauce to go, dude, lay out, shut the fuck up, and put that out. I get what you want to say, but you put it out after. This is how wrestling politics is played. Otherwise, you open yourself up to commentary from people who just want to take chips off of you. He doesn't know how to work, and no one's protecting him, especially if you see him get in the ring and give goddamn Spears a stunner after a show. No one's protecting their business in that way. And it's statements like this and statements in front of his phony press conferences that he has set up to make him look like the god of wrestling in his own mind are working against him way more than they're helping him out in situations like this. Somebody needs to help this guy get this business and how it works. You can shine yourself and pat yourself on the back and your boys. You can't do it beforehand. You got to do it after in that way. Otherwise, if it doesn't live up, which it was a great match, but now I'm holding it to that standard. Don't give me that beforehand, and afterwards I'll push it up there for you that those guys work their asses off.
Phil?
It might just be me, man. You've brought these kind of things up before, but I don't catch things like that. And had I did, I don't think I would have put any thought into it. Like, for some reason, I don't see, I get your point, but for some reason, that's not an issue to me, like what he says about the match being great, because, everybody puts over their product like it's the greatest. So I miss all those things. And
it's all about the SJW shit, Sil. It's all about this. I'm going to tell you how to live your life, and I'm going to have these standards, and this is the new way of thinking, and sorry, Karen, sorry, Boomer, you're out of here. This is how we do it. And then they act like they're in a bubble that's unprotected and untouchable, and that they fucking have nobody can get in, and that all of their ideas will be the right way. And then when they don't do things the right way, or they set themselves up to fail, all these people they pushed out of their little thing, that gives them an opportunity to come running back at the fucking village with angry spears and stab at them. If he would do things, business, wrestling the right way, or somebody would school him, he could avoid that. He could avoid these situations where their detractors have an opportunity to fucking strike back. And it's not the fact that he's doing it for one way to be like, look at me. It kind of is. And if you watch these 30-minute post-show conferences,
I watch them all.
Who wants to hear from Tony? He's not in the ring. He doesn't know how to wrestle. He has no idea what he's doing. He's a nepotism kid who's getting worked by the Bucks and Cody to feel like a CEO who gets to have some creative freedom. Is he the one writing head scissor from the girl finish? Because that to me makes sense, because that's not a real finish of how things should go. And where they're like, yeah, you can agent their match and do it to make him feel good. So it's all of those things still. And I know that he's not saying it directly, but when it comes from Just Incredible watching it one way, Russo, me, Stevie, and you just got a heart of gold and you want to believe the best in people.
Well, I got respect for him.
But the Sharks are out. Not that I don't disrespect the guy. I don't know him too. But the Sharks are out there, and when you give them blood in the water, they're going to fucking come and take a bite out of you. Don't chum the waters with stupidity, and somebody should be protecting him from himself, because he obviously doesn't see the perception of how things are being set up for him to fall. It's the same as WWE. Lolo, lili, la la, I can't fucking hear you. And now where are we this week after 2-3 years of that? It's going to come around, man.
Yeah. I think why he does the scrums that way is I think he takes a page out of Dana White's book, how Dana White always does the post-show conferences. It's pretty much done the exact same way. And if you notice, a lot of AEW's things are similar. Their videos are similar to UFC Countdown. So I'm a fan of UFC Countdown also, and if I had a show, I'd use that. So just watching their product, I see them incorporating a lot of UFC things. As far as the rope break, I knew this would come up, and I saw a few people complaining about it. Here's why it happened. It happened because there was a precedent for this because WWE has been doing it for years. If you watch,
That doesn't mean
WWE
it's right.
does those rope breaks for things. They had that weird non-finish in the Hell in the Cell match. People had seen it already before. So I guarantee their mind while they're putting this together, yeah, it came up like one of them probably said, should we do that? And the other one was like, well, fuck it. They've seen it 50 times already. Nobody's going to care. And that's what happens. I always talk about when you get hot about non-psychology, I always make up the same point. Sometimes the boys just say, fuck it, we'll do it this way.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
But look at it this way. So many people had already done this previously to where they're like, well, what the fuck's it going to matter? Had they never seen, like Rip always told us, monkey see, monkey do, right? Had no one ever done that, they wouldn't have done that. But it's not that unbelievable because people do it all the time. I thought the match was really, really strong and could have done without that. And I really liked the finish as well. The only thing I would, that was a little weird, I'll admit. The only thing I didn't like about that match is I didn't want Swagger to lose. I was wondering how I
wanted
feel.
him up.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to lose, man. And when they were saying undefeated MMA, just something about it didn't feel right.
Is that
He should be 2-belt Swagger. He should be repping
the
belts.
money's
for
on
AEW.
him, bro. Moxley's over. He doesn't need to be the champ, whatever, dude. He can chase it. That was a mistake not putting him over. Absolutely, he should have gone up.
Badass match though.
Yep.
Would have grabbed the headlines too. Jake Hager wins the AEW title.
Yeah, I like the match, dude. Except for the rope breaks, everything else, I was with it, man. They were fucking kicking ass, and a lot of those shots early on were fucking real stiff, dude. Real stiff. I was like, God damn, dog. I mean, Matt, I couldn't take it. Matt Schaffer, he fucking stand in the pocket like that.
Hey, let's talk about Hager though. How much has he reinvented himself, man, over the last year?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously did the one trick pony for so long that made him money with We the People, and JR always bucking for him as a Oklahoma Sooner and All-American, but that's good, but you really got to capture your own and define yourself. The Bellator thing was him going, I'm taking my skills from this and I'm going to show and prove. And then once it gets over as a real badass, they can't take that away from him, Granted, the guys he's kind of fought in the ring aren't named dudes, but he's in there showing and proving, and now he's in here doing this, and it is a mistake to not have 2 belts on him at one time, absolutely.
Well, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Light the Fuse right here for your AEW review. Of course, we want to put over our sponsors, Russo Bro Coffee. Check out thebrosters.com. There's a 5-pound bag apparently in the works. I've been checking the website.
He just hit me up. He said he's got to get on shipping, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be $75 for the 5-pound bag, and that's 20% off of what you would pay to buy it without. So he's going to do a 20% off there, and I just got to get the shipping cost, but that'll be coming soon because a lot of people are requesting it during lockdown because they went through their first bag so fast because it was so good, man.
I know. I'm like sparsing it out. I'm like alternating between the Russo Bro Coffee and the other shit. So yeah, check that out, thebrosters.com. Of course, you can check out Zordo's Olive Oil, Dippin' Donuts, Demetrius Z. Check out his fine quality Greek from his own fields, own family fields.
I think he just became a top tier subscriber. He's going to do something with you, isn't he, Sue?
Yep, he is. He's
awesome,
going to be co-hosting the show with me. He's a top guy member of the Superstar Wrestling Network. Yeah,
nice.
He's a good guy to have on your side, man. He's hungry to learn. Obviously a phenomenal businessman with Dippin' Donuts, Zordo's Olive Oil, everything they got going on there with all 3 locations. But he also sponsors so much stuff, and Immortal Championship Wrestling, the new Immortal 24/7 title. I imagine Silvio might want to come up and fight for that one after this, but he's been doing a lot of mic work, so I'm excited for him to get in that seminar and learn from the best of the best, man.
That was my next point I was going to bring up. The next time, this won't be the only time I get to talk to Chris or I get to hear from Chris Silvio. And you can be one of the selected few if you are interested. I mean, you've maybe had some experience commentary, professional wrestling, or you work in the business and it's something you want to get into. Go to Chris Silvio's Superstar Seminars right now on his Facebook. Find the information. You can sign up $10, guys, and you can sit and listen under the learning tree of Brent Terring and Silvio on the commentary seminar that's happening this Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be a fun time. I'm excited myself. Rick Vickery, we're all signed up. We're ready to rock and roll. Of course, don't forget to check out the War on Morons They're our sponsor all month long. Funny podcast. Go check them out. Of course, don't forget to check out the litany of other podcasts we have here. The Monday, the Wednesday, the Friday Locker Room, the Infinite Fringe, Crow 777, Conspiracy Horseman, Voice of Misery Podcast, Smack Attack, Impact Attack, New Force Order Podcast just dropped. That's up right now, as well as a litany of other podcasts, including my podcast, Suck My Balls. Mr. Silvio, go ahead. Actually, Ben, you look like you were going to say something.
It's just popped me. I just get messages all the time, but Charles the Hammer Evans hit me up during this still, and his only comment, I didn't tell him anything. He just hits me out of the blue because he's a great listener and a guy we respect a ton from OVW. But I watched Archer and Cabana. Didn't like it at all. The business was Archer, but Cabana got over. These are the messages I get from salty vets, bro. That shit pops the shit out of me. Then he feels the need, like, what up, hacker? Watch that shit. Fuck that. He goes, Archer and I started out at the same time. And I go, brother, I just said the same thing on the fucking air, man. So if anybody's got a problem with what the fuck I say, go talk to Charles the Hammer Evans. And then if you get through him, I'm going to send Matt Schaffer to whoop that fucking ass.
Silvio, what would you like to tell the audience about your lovely experiences here?
This Saturday, as MSG said, we're doing the world's first ever live commentary webinar. I did the first webinars in wrestling history, the first referee one, and now we're doing the commentary one. So I strongly recommend anyone in the industry take part in this. And if you're not in wrestling, but you're in podcasting, broadcasting, something like that, take the course. We'll let you in. You have to have some kind of position where you speak professionally. If you have that, we'll be happy to let you in. That's only $10. If you want to do that, you can either email me at thecoachingcooperative@gmail.com or DM me on Facebook. Also, shout out to Demetrius Z and Toby, new members of my Superstar Network Patreon page. I'm putting up right now I said I would do 3 shows a week, but it's looking like we're doing more like 4.
Nice.
So I've got some stuff already in the can, some badass stuff we're doing. I got some new guests coming on. Check it out. I appreciate the support. It's $4.99 a month. If you want to be a top guy, it's only $10. You get some perks like free merch, and you get to co-host a show with me, some other real cool shit. So to do that, it's patreon.com/Superstar Wrestling Network. I really appreciate the support, and I'm going to be busting my ass for you guys. So those are my plugs, but I do have one shout out before we close this thing out.
Do it.
I want to shout out our very own MSG, who recently finished up school, and he did so with a 4.0 fucking GPA. How about that, Mr. Smarty Pants?
Thanks, guys. I was actually going to put you guys over some more here. I was going to mention, if you're not in the wrestling business, but you're a podcaster and you're interested in taking this commentary webinar, I implore you to do so. However, please take into consideration the environment you're going to be in. You're going to be with professionals, so you need to act like a professional. They don't want to talk to marks. We're not looking to make marks into wrestling commentators. They're looking to improve individuals who want to improve their craft. So come into it,
Beautiful.
Keep your fucking mouth shut, and just listen.
Ask quality questions. You're paying to be there, and you're paying to get that hookup. So you gotta respect it. And somebody will fuck up. Maybe not this time, but eventually. That's just how it goes. And everybody will learn. But man, what a great opportunity. I'm so proud of you guys just taking the ball and running with it and expanding your brand still. Is that a extra large, totally awesome shirt there in the background or no?
That is the Totally Awesome Bandana limited edition.
Is it limited edition? Fuck. Twink stole my Totally Awesome shirt.
The blue you're seeing is jeans. Those are my jeans from my first UK tour. That say Bloody Yank on the ass.
Nice. I've had a couple Bloody Yanks, but but you guys know where it is, man. It's hackerhamin.podbean.com. Appreciate everybody subscribing and checking out the coffee, the oil, the t-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com. I didn't even know that their business is way down, obviously with everything that's going on with us being furloughed from being able to perform for you guys. It's going to affect everybody in the trickle down of it all. But once we catch all that rain, we'll dump it all back out again, and we'll all drink from the well of professional wrestling infidels. I'm here with my best brothers, not the good brothers, MSG, Chris Silvio, Hacker Hamin, hopefully providing you with a little entertainment, enlightenment, and getting our heat on the way out. Y'all, AEW Dynamite, light the fuse.
Shamrock, I'm coming for you.